little YouTuber trick I came up with.
Magnets.
That allows you to ride with us anywhere we go. Alright, you might have figured out what we're doing, but we are making cheap beadlocks. This is called a duct tape beadlock. So what we're going to do is use Gorilla Tape, and we're going to wrap it around here. You want to do 3 to 5 times on both sides where the bead sits, and what that's going to do is just make a tighter seat, and it's a cheap way of doing a beadlock. It's not perfect, but also not thousands of dollars either. Two. All right, that's 5 wraps right there. It's gonna give us maximum beadlockiness. I feel like I'm on that movie Ghost. Alright, so right there you can see it's almost an 1/8 inch of thickness that we added, and that's just going to hold a lot tighter on that bead once it actually seats. I'm going to push this down, make sure it's not in the way. Negative side of doing this is that it's going to be harder to get the tire off.
But that's also the positive.
That's the negative and the positive. I got 5 wraps. Top and bottom, we'll see how that goes. That tells you that sucker's on there tight whenever I've got 40 PSI and it's not seating the bead. Thing is solid. Probably never coming off now. Now it's trapped, not on or off. You can do it! Alright, let's try this again with some soapy water. Soapy water. Might have put too many wraps on there, so what happened was it pushed that tape up and kind of made it even thicker in those 2 spots where it got trapped. Alright, so if you look at the evidence here, there's this little hump where the tire seats in below this. The tire was so tight on this wheel that it just completely took that off. So I think I've got an idea to put the tape back here instead of up on that ridge, and that's going to keep it from coming off, but also not push it away from the edge of the rim there. I wonder if anybody's done any scientific experiments on if this actually works, or is this just a wives' tale?
It has to help.
With the tape down here, it was so much that it was keeping the tire from even contacting the bead. We're in experimental mode now. Basically what I did was increase the width of that little lip just by 2 tape widths, which this Gorilla Tape is pretty thick, so still quite a bit. But just that little lip is what holds the bead on, and I increased the size of that. Now let's see if we can get it to seat over it. Whoa! Alright, that works, and that is tight. So when you're seating a bead, even if you want to run like 5 PSI or 10 PSI, you want to seat it at 30 or 40 just to get that thing tight on there, and then you can back it off later. So that worked. I'm going to do that on the other tires. Yay me. Here's another little hack you guys might like to know. So on our drive shaft here, oh, it's tight quarters on our drive shaft here, as it comes around, it's making contact and binding right there. I know this is going to be a weak link, and we need a SYE and a different drive shaft, a double cardan probably. But since we're on the cheap, I'm going to take care of this right now. So you'll see on the other side, I've already clearanced it, and what I do is just take a grinder, and you're just going to take that out, take that section out right there, and just give it a little clearance, and now it'll go past just fine. You can see this one binds, and this one is clear. Still hitting just ever so slightly. I need to clearance that just a tad more. Alright, check that out. Then a squeaky sound coming from there. It clears now. Good morning. One more day. I think we'll have this complete. Josh is over here working on beefing up. That's amazing. So he's beefing up the factory cover there with just some scrap steel. That's looking good. I think I have, after the fourth wheel and tire, I think I've finally figured out the secret sauce of making this work, and I wanted to show you guys what I've been doing here. So the trick for this wheel and tire combo is only 2 wraps. What I'm doing is only half of the duct tape, so that's kind of a neat trick right there. You just split that in half and you can pull the width that you want. The trick is not to put it up in here where the tire seats, it's to put it right on the part that it pops over. So we're going to increase that size, and we're only going to increase it with 2 wraps of tape. I'm going to start right here at the valve stem so that I know where 2 wraps is, and we're just going to put it right on the edge, leaving this space empty. There we go. Now we're going to do that same thing with the other half of the roll here on the bottom. Now with that combo, this thing is going to pop really nicely. Listen to this thing. It's going to be super tight, but when it pops, it's going to pop good. Wow! Alright, that's the trick. You see bugs?
What are you doing to that poor dog?
I think he sees bugs. You see bugs?
Bugs.
Where are them bugs? Chips! It's lunchtime again, no? Somebody I was talking to, I told that if we were to film every time we ate lunch, we'd be eating lunch every 2 minutes in the video. Because sometimes it takes us 2 weeks to film a video. We got about 14 lunches in there. We'd be eating lunch 14 times in one video. Here's what we got today. Grilled cheese. You made this from scratch too, didn't you?
By a chef. It was made by a famous chef.
It was made by a famous chef. It's one of my favorites from childhood. It's delicious.
And Buddy is down here waiting for his leftovers. Right, Bud?
Yeah.
What are you singing over there?
Mr. Mickey.
Singing Mr. Rogers. Alright, did we get a surprise?
We did. Open road.
Alright.
How about open trail?
This is a Yingling Ying Yong winch.
Made specifically for your ATV.
Look at that. 6,000 pounds ATV UTV winch. That's exactly what we need. Alright, so these are the rear leaf springs.
Oh yeah?
Oh, they're a little... Sorry.
They are.
So these are the rear coil springs out of the Jeep. And Josh is making a little bit of modifications to them. Now what is that going to do, Josh?
Just softens the spring rate a little bit.
So since we took all that weight out of the Jeep, these springs are a little too stiff. They don't have a lot of flex anymore because we removed probably, I don't know, 800 pounds or so.
At least.
We got a lighter Jeep, we need a lighter spring, so he's just taking a grinder, a flap disc, and taking some material off of there, and you did that previously.
I did it on this and it worked. It worked good, but then we got different springs. I only did one of them and it worked good for the one side.
So we'll give it a shot on this one. We'll see what happens.
You can do it, just start off small. You can take it off, but you can't put it back on.
I could probably weld some back in.
Lose the spring.
Yeah. Just as I turn the camera off, you go and mess up your finger. Ooh! Supposed to shave the spring, not shave your finger.
It's lighter now.
Alright, let's check out this winch here. It's supposed to come with a winch plate. I hope that's not the winch plate. Holy cow! That thing is tiny!
Good.
I was not expecting it to be so tiny. It's 6,000 pounds, and that thing's way less than that, so...
Did it say how many horsepower?
How many horsepower?
Yeah, motor's gonna have a horsepower.
No. Here's what I came up with, guys. So this tube is really thick that goes across, and then you've got this plate that kind of holds the radiator and the front support and all that. Just made two little triangular shaped brackets right there that's gonna hold the plate that actually came with this winch. So this came in the box, and then the fair lead goes here, but I'm gonna weld this plate onto here, so it'll get a weld all the way across the front, and then it'll get welded up under there, and if we do it just right, we'll be able to get the bolts out, because that'll be important later if we ever want to change this thing. So I got to get it back just far enough to get that bolt out. I'm trying to make a video over here. Are you mining for gold, or what are we doing?
There's steel in there.
You're trying to get the weight out of there?
We'll make it so that it'll go back down over it. That was so mushroomed out.
Go ahead, miner. Alright. There it is. Now we just gotta wire that thing up. Hope that doesn't spark across, and we'll be good to go. Oh, and we got to get a bleeping winch line in there. Alright, check out how this winch line mounts in there. I've not seen that quite yet, but the Freedom winch line, the bleeping winch line, as we're now calling it, changing the name. It comes with this loop on the end. It also comes with the warning, so you don't want to pull it out past this red warning. We've made it with the loop on the end so that it fits most winches. This one's a little different, so you just have to use your creativity here. What we're going to do is pull this out. So, there we go. So you're just going to pull the end out like that. This is woven through itself a couple times. There we go. Alright, so the way this winch works is you slide that through. There's a little Allen key, so you slide this through and then you tighten that Allen key down. So, pretty simple. But with the Freedom winch line, you need to make sure you put it through the fair lead first. So that's the trick. Let that drop down, and then we'll put this through and tighten that Allen key. Now we'll slide this warning back up to the top. I don't really like that Allen key setup. Well, actually I do like it, but different than I've seen before. But what you got to remember is no matter what kind you have, that's not going to hold it unless you have the Xeon. The Xeon's the only one that's going to hold it if you go all the way out to the end. But otherwise, what's really holding it is the first few wraps. So it's the tension, the friction. It's the friction on those first few wraps that are actually holding you from certain death, which is kind of scary, but it actually works. Oh no! Friction didn't hold you guys from certain death. So if you're not familiar though with the Bleepin winch line, it is spliced right here in the USA. There's no metal components involved. It's all just rope, so super safe, super fast, super quick. You want to go around something like a bumper, bam, you're winching. You want to go around something larger like a tree, there's openings all down the line up to 8 feet. So you just go right into there and you're winching. And then there's another opening and another opening, and then we also have this sheath which you can put over a rock or something to protect the winch line if you're winching over a crest. Bam! 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 Look at that. So when you do a winch line, you really need to, you must winch this in under tension. And we don't have this hooked up just yet, so I'm just gonna wrap this up and throw it on the hood. And once we get this thing moving again, we'll winch up to a tree. You want to put this thing under a lot of tension, because the worst thing for your winch line is to go over itself like that. So if you were to wrap your winch line perpendicular like that and pull on it, that is strong enough to just cut right through the winch line. Another reason you want to pull it tight like under tension is because if you don't, your wraps are going to be like this, and then when you pull one tight, it's going to suck down inside there and it's going to get wedged and you won't be able to free spool it out. So that's one of the most common things that I see is people don't put this under tension, and whenever that pulls tight, it sucks down underneath all these other ones and then you can't pull it back out. Bleepin winch line. Check that out! Let's see if it's got any more flex. Maybe a little bit.
Hard to tell. Yeah, seems like a little bit. Hard to tell because the shocks are.
Alright, check it out. We were going to put these D-ring, what do you call these things, Josh?
Shackle tabs.
D-ring tabs? Whatever you want to call them. We were going to weld them right here, but then I got to thinking that just puts your bumper out further, which decreases your approach. Thank you. I'm losing my mind here. Instead of doing that, I had an idea. Why not just use soft shackles? I mean, we've got the Freedom winch line, no metal components. Why not use BleepinJeep approved BleepinJeep soft shackles? You can get these. I'm losing it, Josh. I've been up too long. BleepinJeep soft shackle. So we've got a regular one here, and we also have them with the coating on it. That protects it if you have like a donut, if you're using one of those aluminum donuts to do a...
That one I never can remember.
Alright.
Compound pull.
A compound pull?
A compound pull.
Alright, we'll go with that. Compound pull.
No, I can't think of it.
My suggestion when people buy these is to toss them in the washer a couple times, and that's going to soften them up, because when you first get them, they're pretty stiff. Just leave those right there, and then we don't reduce our approach angle by having that on there. And if that gets hit, it'll just go boop, 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 like that. All right, we got our recovery points. Don't have to add all that weight either. Josh is installing the winch controller, I think.
Yeah, the contactor.
I don't think that's going in there straight.
A little rusty to start with. I think it's going in there straight. It's bending the whole dang thing, I think.
Recovery points, check. We are so close now. Build is not complete without cup holders. So I've got my cup here. We're gonna make some wire cup holders like we did on the jalopy. We'll get our shape somewhat accurate, and then we'll just keep going around with it. Yeah. Alright, Josh. Where do you think the cup holders should go? We could have them right here. Kind of like out of the way.
Can you get that when your harness is on?
Yeah. Good. Could have them down here.
They're probably gonna get kicked and stuff.
They'd get a little warm.
Yeah.
Up here on the brake booster.
I mean, here's probably a good spot, but that's gonna get the muddiest. It's gonna get everything slinging back off the front tire.
If there's mud, everything's gonna be
Everything's gonna be muddy, yeah.
Right there you got the windshield. Of course we gotta have two, even though there's one seat for the cameraman.
Yes, gotta have two.
I like to match my cup holders with the theme of the build, and this build kinda seems a little redneck, so we got redneck cup holders. Perfect. You got some redneck winching going on over there? Mm-hmm. Should I say winch?
Winch.
W-E-N-C-H.
Redneck winching.
Our checklist is halfway in the trash. Cup holders, check. Now you may be wondering, what in the world are these? I got one there, I got one there, I have one hidden right there, and I've got one right there. Can you guys guess? Pause the video and let me know down in the comments below what you think those are for. 3, 2, 1. Okay, here you go. You ready? Bam! There you go. Little YouTuber trick I came up with.
Magnets.
That allows you to ride with us anywhere we go. So the base of our cameras, we put these little magnets on them, and then you can stick them anywhere, but they don't stick on tube. They only stick on flat surfaces, and this Jeep is completely tube. And I put these on a lot of places, including like behind my head. All those little scenes that you guys see where you're riding along with us and you see me driving, or you see it from the vantage point of the hood or something like that. Magnets. So we've got one right there. You can ride along there. Winch works. You guys can ride along up there, or you can turn it around backwards, ride along like that. Also have another one right here, right over the top of my head, and we've got one right here, so you can see you driving. Let's get that out of there. All right, so there's another flat spot we can put you guys, but a lot of this tube work didn't have flat spots, so I decided to make my own. And then I don't know if we showed them the windshield. Did they see the windshield yet? Josh put these little pieces in here, and the windshield just slides down in there. So that'll be cool. All right, almost the last step. Now we just gotta come in here and cut all these zip ties. Yeah. Perfect, perfect.
I think we're gonna get it.
There we go. All right, make sure you're subscribed and stay tuned, because in the next video, we're gonna take this thing out in the rocks and see how she performs. We'll see you then.